Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Now today we are taking a look at none other than the SL Custom Sand Fighter, aka Flint Marko as Sandman from Spider-Man 3 and No Way Home. Now I got mine from toyswonderland.com. I have popped the link for that in the description below for your reference purposes only. Do bear in mind, this is not a promotional video, this is a review on a figure I picked up for my own personal collection. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. You know what, it's about darn time. I'm fairly certain that outside of the diorama display base that came with Hot Toys Black Suit Spidey, that this is the first time we've ever gotten a 1/6 scale Sandman figure. Front and center, an image of Sandman's head kind of dissolving because he's made of sand, and down below, Sand Fighter, which might just be one of the most ridiculous third-party names ever. On the side of the box, some warnings, then on the back, the exact same thing as the front cover. Now, SL Custom, with each release, have been getting better and better, but I'm fairly certain that this figure is their most ambitious release yet. So they've got a lot riding on him, and fingers crossed he's good. First in-hand impressions though are relatively positive, except for one thing. What we are going to do now is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Normally we'd start off with the display base first, but unfortunately he doesn't have one. I was hoping for some kind of sand footprint diorama display base, but no, they kept it pretty bare bones, as they always tend to do. Now we do get some swap out sand forearms, and you may be thinking, ooh, modern technology, seamless forearms, oh yes SL Custom, and I was too, but no, actually there's a wrist peg hole down the bottom. These simply slide over the forearms and connect to the wrist pegs. That makes these pretty simple to swap out. They're a little bit of a softer rubber, so not too tricky to plug on. But I am worried that sliding them on and off and rotating them around constantly may damage the paint on his forearms in the long term. You do get 2 closed fists and 2 maces, and they're painted well. There's a decent level of sand texture, and there's also some nice shading in the crevices. They're not flat and smooth and boring. They definitely look the part. I know I don't have to say this, but something compels me to. Don't worry, we'll try out both options on the figure a little bit later. Now we do get some stacks of cash, they're individually printed bills. I would have loved to have received the bags that the cash was stored in, but unfortunately we get the cash loose. You can just litter them around the collection or have him holding onto them. And lastly, we also get some regular human hands. These are compatible with the figure because, like I said, those go on the wrist pegs, so these can too. The skin texture is really well done, and they're not super waxy and glossy. These feel really high quality. What we are going to do now though is get the Sandman himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And if you asked me right here and now, Justin, is this guy a buy or a pass? I've wanted a Sandman forever, is this the one for me? Well, I wouldn't be able to answer that, because the answer is I don't know. I don't know if I love this figure or if I hate it. There are certain things that I do like the accessories, the sand arms, the outfit, the body itself, but then we get to the head sculpt, which throws a spanner in the works. I do like it. Technically speaking, it's well done, but it also throws off the entire figure, depending on what you were looking for going in. Up close and personal, kicking things off with the head sculpt first. Now, this is the thing that's either going to make the figure for you or break it entirely. It literally just depends on your personal preference. For me, I like the sandy head sculpt. There's a decent level of texture to it. One ear has been completely dissolved away because he is sand. Plus, I love the color and the shading up on top. It looks well done. But is it Thomas Hayden Church? No, I don't think so. From a distance, from an angle, if you squint with one eye, maybe, but I would have loved to have seen a realistic head sculpt too, not just this one as the only option. Or, if they are going with the sandy head sculpt, do some shading on the body so it kind of looks like it's formed out of the neck rather than being a separate piece just plonked on top. Now, out of the box, it was sitting very low, but I'm pleased to report it is adjustable, so if you want it to sit a little bit higher, just move it up on the neck connector. You can get that done. The outfit is pretty simple. It's a green fabric t-shirt with some screen-printed lines. Now, in the film, I'm fairly certain these lines were part of the stitched fabric of the suit itself, but in 1/6 scale, screen-printed, yeah, does the job. Now, the body underneath is huge. I'm fairly certain this is a Gang Hood 1.0 body, because these exposed joints kind of give it away, but seeing as though Sandman was a big boy in the film, using a larger body was definitely the right choice. Now, I just mentioned those joints, but we need to discuss them. They're really ugly. Would I have preferred seamless arms? Yes, that would have been the way to go in my opinion, but having those joints does mean you can bend the arms and not have to worry about cracking or damage over time. Then for the forearms, we've got those swappable pieces we discussed earlier. Either closed sand fists or the maces, it's up to you. Which may actually be my preferred option. The maces are awesome. Also, there's a cutout around the elbow joint, so you can bend it and not have to worry about these pieces colliding with the bicep. But there is a third option, no sand pieces at all, just a regular people hand. I like the way this looks, except in context with the head sculpt, it kinda doesn't make any sense at all. Why would he have normal arms but a sand head sculpt and normal neck? Kind of a weird choice. Once again, I would have loved a normal Thomas Hayden Church head sculpt, not just this one, as your only option. Coming down to the pants, okay SL Custom, I see y'all. This is some really good tailoring. Around the back, you've got some proper working pockets, and the ones at the front, they're real as well. We also have a pleather belt with metal belt buckle, nicely aged and weathered. The pants themselves do ride a little bit high, but they did in the movie. It kinda gives me dad vibes. Then down below, they break at pretty much the perfect height on the boots. They're not too long, they're not too short either. We do have some padding in the thighs to bulk him up just a touch. Then over the top of the pants, they've kind of done this sandy wash, because of course, in case you forgot, it's Sandman. Then down below for the boots, they're Timberlands, a real Timberland logo, teeny tiny in 1/6 scale. I do appreciate the texture on the surface. It looks like a real leather boot shrunk down. It's not, it's sculpted plastic. You also have some rubbery laces that are separate pieces. Then on the underside, some sculpted tread. The only thing missing, in my opinion, would have been a little bit of sand on the surface to tie the entire thing together. For a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have SL Custom Sandfighter on the left, and on the right, the Hot Toys diorama display base that came with Black Suit Spidey. Now, if you're low on shelf space like I am, maybe the SL Custom is the way to go. Yes, it's not as eye-catching, it's not as wide, it's not a showstopper, but it's still Sandman. It's a great option. Now, if you do have the shelf space to play with, why not both of them? You could have the mace on both the diorama base and the Sandfighter. Maybe that's why he comes with closed fists and maces made out of sand, so that he can match this display base. Potentially, they were designed to go together. Not of course by Hot Toys, more by SL Custom. Next up, here we have the Thunder Toys version of Tobey Maguire's Spidey. He's a little bit shorter than Sandman and nowhere near as wide and as bulky. Plus, now that we do have Sandman, we're one step closer to completing the entire lineup of villains from No Way Home. Seeing as though the new Goblin tossed a few pumpkin bombs Sandman's way in Spider-Man 3, here we have Hot Toys' new Goblin. He's also shorter than Sandman, it just goes to show how big the Sandfighter really is. And lastly, here we have the Hot Toys upgraded suit Spidey wearing the magical gauntlet from the black and gold suit Spidey from from No Way Home. For now at least, this is my No Way Home Spidey. He is once again shorter than Sandfighter. And don't worry, when the integrated suit Spidey comes out, we will definitely redo this comparison. Going over articulation, do bear in mind this is my personal copy, so I'm going to be a touch more careful. Starting off with the head sculpt, it's on a fixed neck body with a double ball peg up on top. Looking back to there, looking forward to there, swivel and pivot side to side. The arms will go up to there. They will go forward and back, butterfly joint at the shoulder that also hinges up and down. Unfortunately, no swivel at the bicep, all of your swivel comes from the single bend elbow. And of course, that elbow goes almost to 90. Now you do have a regular 1/6 scale wrist peg underneath, but if you have the sand arms on, you only get swivel. The torso does crunch forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side. The legs will go forward to there, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee going just past 90, and of course a double ball peg down here for the ankle. Wrapping up on Sandfighter by SL Custom, aka Sandman from Spider-Man 3, both in the MCU and the Raimi trilogy. It's kinda crazy to think that across the two trilogies in their third films, we got a Sandman, and it was the same dude, so in 1/6 scale, he's got some cross-compatibility. If you want to pop him in your Raimi trilogy, you can do that. If you want to pop him in your No Way Home display, which is what I plan to do, you can do that too. Now, he's not perfect. He doesn't come with a display base, a huge missed opportunity in my opinion. I would have loved a sandy diorama base, but unfortunately, we don't get one. We also don't get a Thomas Hayden Church head sculpt. I understand they wanted to keep it sandy because this is Sandman, but not all the time. You want to switch it out for a realistic portrayal of the actor that was playing Sandman, but you can't. And as of the filming of this video, I don't know of any other third-party company that's actively working on a Sandman, but I could be wrong. Fingers crossed someone makes a head sculpt to pop on this figure. Hot Toys, it seems, were always allergic to making a Sandman. Not sure why, maybe because sand is coarse and rough and gets everywhere, but I'm pretty happy with this guy for now. As soon as someone makes an upgraded version with an actual head sculpt though, I'm probably going to put that one in the display and retire this one. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below for your reference purposes only. Don't forget, this is a third-party, unofficial, unlicensed figure. This is not a promotional video, this is a review on a figure I picked up for my own personal collection. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.